I don't know if anybody, any chaplain or chaplain assistant or anyone for that matter in the military does not have challenging times. It is a time that no one has perfection and being resilient, that you have no problems, no worries, no time when you have doubts and fears. It's part of life. As you get higher up in the accountability and responsibility levels, then you get further out in the limb, if you will, or to the tip of the spear. And so because of that, you feel a little more isolated and you feel a little more alone in a sense you have no peers to talk to, especially if you're a chaplain who has to be impervious to problems and has to be always the answer man or woman to issues around them. So you become more isolated in a lot of ways. Within my own personal life and professional life as well, it's obvious what a person has if they have a family. In my case, my wife and my two sons are probably the stalwart and strength of my life in a lot of ways, beyond my God, of course. And they're the ones who I can turn to that believes in me no matter what. And if you have someone that believes you no matter what, that keeps you going a long way. And then along the way comes individuals that you formed great friendships with through trial and error and things of this nature, within the chaplain corps itself possibly. And in my case, I've had several that are very close friends of mine. And they're the ones who keep your feet on the ground. They're the ones who make sure you don't take yourself too seriously. Basically, they're the ones that make you laugh at yourself. And in times I recall when I was in Afghanistan a tour ago, I was a theater chaplain. And so I had no peers in the theater. And I remember very much so being very lonely one day and very feeling a lot of hurt in my soul. Did not have a lot of resiliency left in me, I felt like. And I didn't know where to turn to. I had nowhere to go. And all of a sudden, over the email came these emails flying in of laughter, of ridicule, of laughing at me from my friends. And all of a sudden, I started laughing because what they were saying to me was funny, because they were not letting me sit in my remorse. They did not know I felt that way, but they knew that I probably did. And so they sent those comments back at me. And just the laughter made me, excuse me, made my heart a little lighter. And so those moments like that. And of course, then I had one time, and I'll share this story. I was sitting very much alone one day, and about mid-tour, and I got a phone call from a chaplain. And I call him a friend, but not a real close friend. But he was just another chaplain. And he called up and he said, Ray, he said, I don't know why I'm talking to you. I just felt inspiration just to call you and see how you're doing. And I told him, I said, Mike, I said, you have no idea. Today was probably the lowest days. I said, for you to call and ask me that, you're the only ones that ever asked me in a long time how I'm doing. He said, you're kidding. And so from that conversation, all of a sudden my burden was lifted, or at least it was lightened, let's put it that way. And so doing that, he reached out to me. I think possibly from a spiritual, inspirational moment, but mostly he just concerned about me. And he did that a couple times for me at a low moment. So those moments are like that, when someone reaches out to you and when you don't have the capacity yourself to, in your prayer life, your devotion life, maybe it's not as strong at that point, you got to have some external voices to help you along the way. And that's some of my stories and how people have helped me.